Go live.
Hear ye. Here we go. One more time, baby. Live out at TapsCon in Waco, Texas on the marathon of Teague's Take. Again, we know we're normally on Wednesday nights, but we got some very special episodes. Just trying to highlight our coaches and athletic directors and things of that nature. So thank you all for tuning in and listening. Once again, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching it now or earlier or later. Hit the subscribe button down there on Teague's Take. Give us some likes and follow up with our coaches. They may be able to tell you some good insight. Okay, so this one, man, I'm really excited about this because, man, I got to start knowing this gentleman probably, I guess it would be about 7 years ago. When we first met, when I came to coach at John Paul II High School, and we were starting to work our way into, how do we develop a good program with football. So, earlier today, or if you don't, go back and watch the episode with Steve Prudhomme when we were talking about how you build a program. Well, this gentleman has actually done that. Parish Episcopal School has a great overall program. They're dynamic in their football program as well. So the gentleman I have here has been coaching for 14 years at least, 17 years.
19 years.
19 years.
2005.
Yeah, it's been in Parish for like 14 years.
There you go.
He is, guys, listen to this. Back to back to back to back to back state champion in the biggest level of taps and football. That, I don't care what you say, what you think or however, that is hard to do. It's hard to go back to back, but to keep doing it over and over and over again, that means you got some great coaches, you got some great support, all those kind of things. So it's absolutely amazing to that. And I want to be able to talk to him about this. So y'all need to welcome in Coach Devin Novakov, my man. What's up, baby?
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Look, I've been a big fan. I've watched the podcast, so to finally get to be on it, now I feel honored to be sitting here in your presence, to be on it finally and connect with you. So appreciate you having me on.
Well, you know what? And now that you brought that up, I'm going to put you on the spot. It's going to be recorded now. So what you think? Okay, because I'll be able to get. I need for you to come on to my podcast, the Wednesday night episodes, when I'm doing the film breakdown. I'd love to have your offensive mind and stuff, because me and JT, we tend to stick on the defensive side a lot. We'll navigate over from what we know, being head coach and all that. But I know where, you're. So you got to get offensive football brain.
I like watching y'all because when I watch, the one I remember particularly, I watched several, was y'all were talking about, I think Alabama was playing. It was a playoff, and there's Caleb Downs, and y'all were breaking down the film. I was like, this is kind of cool how they got. And I was asking you off camera about how you got all this set up and professionally done. I like it.
Yeah. So you're gonna, if I invite you on, I can work out a Wednesday for you to come on, and we're doing some film breakdown, because we're all, that's our deal on Teague's Take. We want to be able to typically break down film. I like to have coaches with experiences can be able to say, I don't know, give the mindset maybe, or the philosophy. And so
heck yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, all right,
man, count me in.
I'm good. I need to do that, because we've been like, man, we got to get someone here with this overall defense, because we want to watch maybe a quarter of film and just kind of say, man, what were you really thinking, 3rd and 1 versus something?
Yep.
All right. So you've been able to do this, keep your program at a very high level. Where does it really start, man, to be able to do that? Is it weight room? Is it film? Is it just mindset? How do you say that you really kind of maintain this after you
look, it
get the
feels
ball rolling.
to the outsider, I can see how it looks like that when you're in it, which you probably know this too, but it feels like you're paddling underwater. You're barely fighting to stay above the water every single day. And so to me, you can't look at it as a long-term deal. It's got to be today. I'm just going to handle today. I'm going to figure out today, and tomorrow I'll worry about tomorrow, and it's, what is it, one day at a time? I think it was an old alcoholics mantra, actually, but they actually kind of got it figured out, just to stop trying to figure out 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Let's worry about today. Let's keep our head above the water today, and then figure out the rest later. But really, what got it started, I would say, in my opinion, is Preston Stone coming. He kind of got the ball rolling, got us notoriety, and then from there, it's just kind of snowballed. One thing, fortuitous bounce after the next, and now here we sit having 5 championships in a row, which if you'd have told me that when I took the job, I would have called you an idiot. I mean, we were getting beat by 40 points by some teams, clocks running at the halftime. We're just hoping we can stay in 6A, and maintain and not have to drop down or drop out or whatever. And now to be sitting here as the smallest enrollment in TAP 6A, doing what we've done, I would have, I don't know. People ask me that question all the time. I can give you some thoughts, but I have no idea. If I knew, I'd sell it to you. I'd sell it to everybody in this conference, and I wouldn't be coaching anymore. So,
Well, with the wins, and how do you? Is there one that you go like? Do you feel the same after every single one of them? I know it's tired, and it's a long year.
Okay, so here's what's weird, right? You start with elation, right? And it's like, man, I'm climbing this mountain. This is awesome. We win. I feel great. And it's true. You start to feel relief, and then you start to be like, don't screw it up. And when you win, you're like, thank God. Like that one, got that one behind us. Don't screw up the next one. Don't screw up the next one. So it turns from chasing something to then trying not to screw something up. If that makes, that becomes the motivation, right? You're chasing the dog chases the car. Finally, it gets the car. Well, the dog gets hit. That ain't a good thing. Really, probably not a good metaphor. But you know what I'm saying? Like you catch it. Now it's like, what now? Well, just don't screw it up for the kids. Because you're going to remember the kids. I'm the only one that's been through and some coaches, all 5 of these. The kids, they turn over. So it's new to them every year. We don't have one kid that's been through all 5 because they would, they'd be a repeat or whatever. We don't have that. So for them, each year is a new year, and you want to do the best you can for them. Yeah, for me, I've been through all 5, but I'm one of the few. There's several coaches, and that's about it. Everybody else, they're chasing it again, so I want to help them get to where it is. But also, they feel that pressure, too, of not being the team, not being the year that Parish loses. Nobody wants to be a part of that legacy. So it starts to become a different motivation and a different factor that, you feel versus trying to get to the top versus stay at the top.
Yep. So let me remind you, we're talking about Parish Episcopal School in Dallas, Texas, actually considered Dallas, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So I know oftentimes a lot of people will hear Parish and Episcopal, that they get the other one, whether Jerry Jones family was at this, that would be the Episcopal School of Dallas.
Correct.
We are talking about Parish Episcopal School.
Correct.
Okay, so
not to be confused.
Not to be confused, because it messed with me quite a few times when I jumped into TAPS, or when I actually started getting up bigger, because I was a smaller school before. Okay, so young coach, you're coming in, you're getting started, and you get your first little piece of what do you do. What is the thing that your mindset that you're actually trying to develop? Because I know I said it's sustainability. What were you thinking when you first came in, though? What is your first core values you're trying to get when you're trying to build a championship?
Okay, so the first thing when I got it was there'd only been one coach in the history of the school, all right? And he just left. Kids were leaving the program. So the big thing for me at that point was, let's just get participation up. Like, let's not have this thing. You just take this job, they give you this job, your name is attached to it. Let's not have this thing crater in on itself and we can't field a football team. Like, that's literally where my mindset was. The furthest thing from winning, I mean, yeah, we all in the back of our mind want to win a state championship. But the main goal at the beginning was give the kids a good experience, get participation up, get excitement, get enthusiasm going, and then let's kind of see what we can do. We had also just kind of like when you took it, we just moved up to 6A. So, I mean, that was a beast in of itself. We had to tackle. We had been a 5A, 4A, whatever they call it, TAPS, with the change levels, whatever, the whole life of the school. So not only are we changing leaders of the program, but we're also changing levels. And that level is a big jump. That was a huge jump for us. We're the smallest enrolled 6A school in the district. So it was just figuring out, all right, how do we survive this? How do we put a capably competitive product on the field that doesn't embarrass us. That was the beginning, you know, and then we just kind of took baby steps from there. Okay, now we're competing in the district. Ooh, now we won the district. All right, now let's try to advance in the playoffs. Ooh, we went to the semifinals. Now let's try to, you know, win this thing. Oh, we won this thing. Now becomes the hard part, which is what we're going to talk about today, is like, how do we sustain this thing once we get there? So
yes, and I love that, and I'd like to add and point to that when I came to JP2, we were 0-40.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
No, man, you're just trying to figure out, like you said, how do you get people in? And I had to try to figure out just how to win a game. And so I actually had my process, right? So Nick Saban, how many times we heard Nick Saban say about follow the process. And I always thought, what the heck does process mean? You know, everybody's process is different, but what is the process? And I felt like I needed to define it to our kids and parents. And mine was, I wrote it out for myself because I needed to know. And the first thing we need to do is we need to win Dallas. So I wasn't worried about beating Nolan and all that. I need to get this part. And then I need to beat Fort Worth. And then I need to win something. So we really honed in as coaching staff on who can I beat? I'm sorry. That's the way I was thinking. Okay. And I knew, all right, I got to get Prince of Peace out of here. I got to get somebody. Yeah. And it worked for us. Now, you know, it became a struggle and it came hard and we were able to do a lot of things, but you took it there and you won it and you're still playing at it. It's not even, I need people to understand this, not just necessarily that he's, I don't know, 8-3 or whatever. We're talking about keep winning championships. That is so hard. I'm commending you. I'm saying, man, that takes, I know how hard that is. People know hard. Sometimes maybe people just get, like, oh, well, we know who's going to win. But, man, it takes a lot of work because you're saying you got new kids, you got new people, maybe you got new administrators, you got stuff flipping around, and you got all these battles that you have to deal with. So keeping your sanity, what do you do for yourself, man, to try to –
Well, that you alluded to it. Like, you got all these battles as a head coach. Like, you're basically a fireman. You're putting out little fires every single day, and you're trying to put out enough of them to stay where you are so you don't get swallowed up by the fire. So – I don't know. I mean, you hear all the cliches, try to leave work at work. I can't. Like, I'm 24/7. I'm a nut job about it. So it's hard to get away from it. There is no time in my mind where I can separate Daniel Novakov, the husband, the father, and Daniel Novakov, the Parish Episcopal football coach. They're kind of one and the same to me. So you try to bring your family into that life and try to do the best you can with not making them feel the struggles you go through. But it's hard, man. Like, to be honest with you, it is really hard not to feel all that stuff because you're fighting these battles, and you kind of alluded to it, people take it for granted. It's like, oh, Parish is just going to win again. It is not easy to do that. It's impossible, and it gets harder every year because what really happens is, you've been in a school environment. When you're trying to get there, they want to do everything they can to help you. Once they got there, it's like, oh, you're good. We can take this away from you. We can take that away from you. You don't need that. We're going to help somebody else over here that needs that. You guys are fine. You guys are fine. And you're like, no. Look, this is getting harder. You don't understand. Like, we're not good. We're not good at all. We need this. We need this. We need more money. We need this here and here. So that, to me, is the biggest challenge, is because everybody seems to want to, say, oh, it's easy. It's a foregone conclusion, and kind of take it for granted. And I get it. You got competing interests in the school, right? You win at the clip we win, and then you got other programs that are like, well, that's not fair. Like, why are they getting to do that and we aren't? They must be having some unfair advantage or whatever it is. And so those are kind of the challenges you flip to face versus when you're chasing it, when everybody's kind of pushing behind you. Now you're kind of like fighting to still get yours and what you need and to stay there. And that, to me, is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm. You hit it because, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. He doesn't need to say it. Football is different than any other sport. And there's another guy that's going to be on here a little bit later, and the expenses that are involved in it, just equipment. Dude, I'm a JP2 right now. Somehow or another, we got to buy 50 new helmets. Oh, my gosh. And I'm trying to go in here to the CFO, tell him I need 50 new helmets. She's like, really? We couldn't do this 10 at a time? No, they all expired at the same time. So
yeah, and football in Texas drives, a rising tide lifts all boats. So if your football program is good, in my opinion, it's going to elevate the entire athletic department. It's going to create community excitement. It's going to create a buzz around your campus. I can tell you without a doubt, we've seen admissions go up. We've seen exposure of the school go up. All those things have been a huge benefit from or as a result of what the football team has accomplished.
Well, no one can say or refute that schools like us, private schools, we rely on marketing and things of that nature.
Yeah.
When you have winning programs, regardless, there are free advertisements that basically come out of that. Winning the national championship brings a lot. Newspapers are writing about you, TV stations are coming out. It might not be the direct thing that you're going to some convention or something, but that it brings notoriety and people just wanting to know more about your school. So I think there's the great unintended things that can come from it when you're.
Yeah, and it's hard to put it in a box and say this is the direct result of this, but you can feel it. You can feel that kind of tide change and the exposure and the marketability of your school increase.
That's right. Okay, so you've been doing this now, man. People are, you start winning these kind of championships, people leave.
Yeah.
They go, they do something, I'm sure. Someone from the UIL called you, come on over here and do this. Maybe some college. I know you've had some experiences there before. What has really made you stick around and stay with Parish?
The kids. I mean, number one, you feel connected to the kids, right? So, I mean, you feel obligated to them. Anytime I've gotten close to that point or to where I'm like, oh, I may look at this, you kind of play out that process in your mind of walking into that team room and being like, hey, guys, this is it for me. And it's like gut wrenching. Like I've been in tears at my house over it because you just, and you just realize the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Everybody likes to be, it's flattering for people to want you or whatever. Absolutely. Everybody likes to be quote recruited or, told. And when you work at a place, you see the warts from the inside. So you're looking at it going, well, maybe it is better. And then, you start to really do that math in your mind. You're like, is the grass greener or do I have a pretty good thing? And so, I'm just a football coach. I don't have to be the AD. Probably haven't been to a meeting in 5 years. I can set my own schedule.
Hey, man. I'm sorry. I got to say something about you, though, because you just said the grass is greener. Y'all ain't got nothing green out there.
Yeah, it's all blue, right?
Everything's blue.
That's blue.
You got the blue turf and all that kind of stuff. So how did that happen? Did you have something to do with that?
No, actually, that's the coach, Coach Natty before me. You got to give him the credit. It was a great marketing ploy on his part of, hey, let's differentiate ourselves from everybody else. Let's not have a green field. Let's put a blue field out there. And that way, whenever there's a photo taken, whenever there's film of a kid who on the blue field, everybody's going to know immediately, hey, that's either Boise or Parish, right? At the time. Now there's a couple other ones, but it was a genius. When I remember I heard about it, I was like, we're going to put a blue field out there. This is going to be the laughing stock. And then it was great. I mean, credit where credit is due.
Now your baseball field is blue too, right?
Everything's blue. Softball, baseball, everything.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I forgot about the softball piece.
So, yeah, I mean, but to go back to your question, when you find somewhere you like, and then, you know the college world, you're moving around. I'd have to walk in, 10-year-old daughter, 8-year-old daughter. Hey, guys, I know you like your school, but we're moving to Monroe, Louisiana. They'd be like, you are. We are. We aren't. Right. Good luck. Let us know how it goes. Right back to us. We like where we live, and so we'll see you later. So, it's been a good thing. And then, the final thing, at some point I realized probably the run's going to come to an end, but why jump off of something? You watch that Patriots documentary, and the one thing that stuck out to me was it's kind of like they tore it down themselves. I don't know how much longer it could have gone, but there was so much infighting, and they couldn't. Some of those things I was alluding to, they couldn't keep it together. I look at that, and in my own mind, I'm like, keep the train rolling as long as you possibly can, see where it'll go. And then if it falls off the tracks, then figure something out. But until then, why actively destruct something that's been so great?
All right, and so I want to end it with this. We only got a couple minutes left. Why you're doing this, you've hinted and said a lot about the time and the, how you have to be totally connected in there. What kind of spouse do you have to have? I mean, what kind of the mindset of that person to know, man, he's going to be gone long nights. So Sundays are different, particularly during the season, man. How thankful do we need to be as coaches, I guess, to know that, man, I got someone who's going to support me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most important thing. I got a great one. Luckily, I think there's different types. She comes all the games, cheers all the games, but her mindset is mostly like, hey, tell us who we're cheering for, what shirt to wear. We'll be there to support you. Tell us what you need. Make sure the credit card works for us because I got 2 girls. We're going to go shopping. We're going to do our thing. You do your thing, and, it works. And I think that's a true partnership is where you understand each other, and the partner lets the other partner be them. Like, I don't try to make her – she's not the typical football wife that's going to have all the kids over for dinner and, oh, hey, I saw you make that pass against cover. She don't know any of that. She's not into cover 3, but she cheers as hard as the next person, but she also lets me be me and knows that that's the most important thing for me. And so from June now until December, they're not going to get in my way. You know, they're going to let me do what I need to do. And then they're like, we'll see you in December or when you can be around. And I don't catch a lot of grief over missing something that I have to miss, or, you know, why can't you be like all the other dads? You know, they get it. And so that you got to find someone that understands what this business is about and isn't going to, that's probably why you see the divorce rate in this profession so high, is because, you know, I think it's tough on the spouses. And so having a partner like her that understands it and is supportive of it has been huge for me.
I 100% agree, and that is a great way to do this because my wife has been with me for 31 years.
Holy cow!
All the way through high school, college, and football. And man, for what I've been doing and coaching and all that, I totally understand exactly what he said. You got to find that happy medium. And my wife was different. My wife used to come to practice. Yeah, and she used to try to make the call. She was like, "Hey, pistol," and she don't even know what she's talking about. She just I tell that story all the time, and I say it around her because it's true.
Yeah.
But that's how she was. No, she, so I'm very thankful for all of the spouses, and significant others who are supporting coaches and allowing us to do what we can do the best.
And I don't think people realize what they go through. Like when they feel they have to sit in the stands with people and hear people badmouth their husband, they're all that's their dad.
What are you doing? Yeah. What are you calling?
And sit quietly, and just sit there and take all that stuff. And they feel all that. Like that probably hurts them worse than it hurts us. So I mean, I don't think they get enough credit for all that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. Well, I do appreciate it very much. Thank you for your
Likewise.
time. I do. I'm looking forward to having you on Teague's Take, the regular edition.
There you go.
To come talk some football because this guy is a fabulous coach. He's fabulous with people, and I just thank you for what you and your school do and how you represent TAP. So
really appreciate you having me.
Round of applause to Daniel Novakov of Parish Episcopal School in Dallas. We're out of here. 22 minutes strong. That was good.